my fellow companions. Now, you might be wondering, oh, why is there, like, a blank screen? Well, later on, I'm gonna be editing this. I'll like, leave out a demo, kind of like a demo version for now, but you know how Bob's Burgers had that episode in Season 8 where they, like, had a bunch of fans create their own little, like, animations? That was so fun when I got to that episode. I was like, oh, wow, that's interesting. So I'm not really good at that part, so what I did here is I made my, like, own episode idea with an A and B plot with some characters we haven't seen interact with each other before. So I'm going to read off the script that I made up, including everything else, like in parentheses and stuff. So there is an A plot and a B plot, and I call this one Bob's Burgers Inspection Detection. You probably already guessed who the character for that one is. So we have our opening scene. The intro happens. Bob flips burgers at the grill. Linda hums as she wipes down the counter. The kids sit at the counter drawing on napkins. Then the bell above the door jingles. Hugo and Ron enter, clipboard in hand. Bob's turn. Bob rolls his eyes, saying, "Oh great, here we go again." Linda, "Oh Hugo, what a pleasant surprise. I love when you show up unannounced to ruin our day." Hugo, flatly, "It's called a random health inspection, Linda. Your reaction may feel less random." Gene, who has a smirk on his face, goes, "You want us to act surprised? Because I can do that." Dramatically gasps, "An inspection? Oh, the humanity!" Tina, "Oh no, what have we been storing food at the wrong temperatures? The suspense is killing me." Hugo, "That's correct. The correct level of fear, Tina. I feel like that, Ron." Oh. Okay. Hang on. Hugo, "That's the correct level of fear. Tina, I like that. Ron, let's begin." Ron gives an apologetic shrug as he flips open through his clipboard. Bob grumbles, keeps flipping burgers. Ron, "Sorry, Doc. You know how it is. Hugo's got to inspect, and I gotta, well, at least sit next to him." Hugo glares at Ron as Hugo starts inspecting. Bob, surprisingly, hands Ron a plate of fries. Ron eats one mouse, thank you. Now for the B plot. The door slams open, and Gail bursts in looking frazzled, clutching a suitcase. Gail yelling, "I need an asylum! Give me sanctuary! Hide me! My sweet sister and brother-in-law, who I know love me, will not ask questions." Bob, sighing, goes, "Ah, for the love of..." Linda goes, "Gail, oh my god, what's wrong? Is this about the time you made a dramatic escape from book club again?" Gail whispers, "I'm being followed by a man. Dark sunglasses, leather gloves. Probably works for an underground organization. He's resorted me." Gene nods and sounds legit. I mean, I am obsessed with you. Tina goes, "Maybe it's romantic. Like Gail, you complete me," or more like, "Gail, you must leave my basement." Gail goes, "I don't know, but he was watching me outside my apartment, and when he left, he started walking faster." Luis goes, "Ah, so you are being followed by a man going the same direction as you?" Gail goes, "Exactly. We need you set up a decoy, Gail. Maybe a mannequin, or a really well-trained possum." Bob rubs his temples as Hugo suddenly coughs and sputters dramatically. Back to the A plot. Hugo is turning red, gripping his throat. Ron jumps in panic. Hugo, air quoting, I'm gonna air quote this, spitting out food. "What was in that burger?" Bob, a little bit nervous, "Beef?" Hugo gasps, No, I tasted peanut oil." Here's where we add the other twist. Because, yes, I did do my research. Originally, Hugo does not have allergies, but let's introduce allergies here. Ron's panicked. Hugo, "Aren't you allergic to peanuts?" Hugo nods, "But only in very specific doses, just enough to be inconvenient." He coughs dramatically. "I need to be rest before I can inspect." Hugo collapsed into a booth, looking pale and weak. Bob, horrified, realizes Hugo is now stuck in the restaurant. Linda gasps, Bobby, we poisoned him! Bob, no, we didn't. He's just being dramatic. You know, if you've seen the show, you might think he is being dramatic, so. Jean smirking. The world's first peanut-powered health inspector. Sighing. Bob, if Hugo can't finish inspecting, we'll have to come back another day. Bob's twitching, or we can take care of him. Ron's alarmed. Whoa, what? Linda's like, oh, relax, Ron. Bobby just means we'll keep him comfortable until he's feeling better. Whispers to Bob. Right? Bob being sarcastic. Yes, Linda, I wasn't suggesting we bury him in the wagon. Louise being disappointed. Oh, that's a shame. Now for the B plot. Gail is peeking out the window and suddenly she screams, There! It's him! Everyone rushes to the window. Mysterious man in sunglasses and leather coat stands across the street, staring directly at the restaurant. Tina was like, okay, well, that's actually pretty creepy. Jean, oh man, this is how I finally get to meet a real spy. Gail, you see, he's here for me. As the tension builds, Hugo dramatically groans, pulling attention back to himself. Bob, water. Even though he's holding water already, Bob says you're literally holding a glass of water. Meanwhile, Ron looks from Hugo to the mysterious man outside, suddenly looking concerned. Ron, Bob, I don't think this is just a coincidence. The family turns to Ron as dramatic music kicks in. Bob, Linda, and the kids looking kinda confused. Bob, wait, what? And that's the end of the episode. Well, that's not the end of the episode. That's the end of this part. But let's add something a little bit random while they're deciding what to do. So, before the credits play, it's now nighttime. Bob sits down at the counter, flipping through a drawing. God, he's trying to sketch, but it looks terrible. Linda looks over his shoulder. Linda, wow. Oh, wow, is that a frog? Bob, flatly, it's supposed to be you. Well, you tried. At least frogs are cute. Bob sighs as Linda pats his back. Now that's the end of part 1 of Inspection Detection. So, here's the twist for this one. So it gets you interested for part 2. Ron seems to recognize the man outside, implying he's not just a random stalker, and that there's something bigger at play connecting Hugo's allergy incident, I put that in air quotes, and Gail's paranoia into one bizarre unexpected mystery. Humor? We all know we need the humor, of course. So classic, everyone being... Okay. Classic Belcher sarcasm, absurdity, Hugo's melodrama, Ron's deadpan delivery, and Gail's over-the-top antics. See how it gets you interested in this fan-made episode. So, this is one I wrote, kind of fan-made, because I do like this show. Now, let's move on to part 2. So part 2 here, recaps. So yeah, let's recap in case you missed, in case, you know, different air dates happen. Narrated by Tina in monotone. Clips from part 1 play as Tina narrates. Tina, writing her notebook, previously on Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers, oh my god, I can't talk. Hugo ate something that made him mildly sick, which is the worst thing that's ever happened to him. Gail thinks she's being stalked, but we all thought she was just being Gail. Typical Gail. Till a mystery man showed up. Ron looked weirdly nervous, and now we're all confused. Dramatic music swells before cutting to the same scene as part 1's ending. Bob, Linda, and the kids staring at Ron in shock. Alright, it's nighttime now. So now, Ron looks nervous, glancing between Hugo, still weaking and wheezing, and the man outside. Bob, okay, Ron, spill, who is this guy? Ron sighs. You're not gonna believe it, but he's not after Gail. He's after Hugo. Beat. Silence. Then, Luis laughs. No, seriously, Ron's dead serious. Hugo weakly raises a hand. Hugo, wait, I'm important enough to be targeted? Jean goes, nah, I can't be. Maybe he just wants to hug you, or mug you, or plug you into a machine and use your brain power to power an evil robot. Tina's all dreamy, an evil robot. That's so mysterious. Bob pinches the bridge of his nose. Bob. Ron, explain now. Ron sighs and gestures towards the window. Ron. Okay, so here's where I made up a person now. Ron goes, that man. His name is Gary. He works for the Board of Health. Higher up than Hugo. Way higher. Hugo. Scoffing. Impossible. I am the highest. I am the pinnacle of food safety. Ron. No. Turns out you are under investigation. Gasp. Bob's jaw drops. Linda clutches her pearls and the kids lean in dramatically. Luis. Wait. Are you telling me Hugo is the one in trouble? Oh my god, this is the best day of my life. Hugo's offended. For what? I am impeccable. I am Ron. Awkwardly interrupt. Being investigated for abusing your power and unlawfully harassing a certain restaurant. Everyone stares at Bob. Bob crosses his arms smugly. Bob. Well. Look who's getting a taste of his own medicine. Guess who's getting a taste of his own medicine, and guess what? It's expired. Jean, dramatically gasping. Referencing? Okay, now here comes some references. This is just like that episode of Law & Order SVH, Special Victims of Hugo. Suddenly the door swings. Remember my made-up character. Gary, the mysterious man, steps inside. Gary. Mr. Habercore. Yes. I was surprised when I looked it up and Hugo actually had a last name. So, Gary, Mr. Habercore. Hugo stiffened. Wait, Gale, wait, he's not after me, Gary. No, I have no idea who you are. Gale gasps, horrified. Gale, that's worse. Luis high-fives Tina and Jean. Bob grins. Linda claps her hands together, delighted. The resolution is Hugo's reckoning. Gary pulls out a thick folder labeled Habercore Investigation. He flips it open. Gary. Let's see. Excessive inspections of one restaurant owner. Failure to follow fair evaluation procedures. Documented histories of personal grudges affecting health grades. Bob. Faux innocence. Wait, does that mean I'm completely innocent? Gary flips another page, eyes knowing. Did I say Bob already? Yeah, I did. Okay. Gary flips another page, eyes narrowing. Gary. Actually, Bob, you did technically violate one rule today. Bob. Panicked. What? Gary. You served food to an active inspector during inspection, which could technically be seen as a bribery. But Pete, Bob looks at Ron, who shrugs. Bob, but Ron ate the fries. Ron, yeah, but I'm not an inspector. More like Hugo's emotional support coworker. Hugo weakly. Bob, if I go down, I'm taking you with me. Tension builds. Everyone stares at Bob, silence, and Gary is like, nah, I don't care. And everyone exhales in relief. Now here's our final twist. Gary takes out a document and hands it to Hugo. Gary. Mr. Habercore, you're being placed on mandatory leave pending investigation. Hugo whispering. Mandatory leave? Ron lighting up. Oh, does that mean I'm in charge? Gary smirking. For now. Ron pumps his first in victory. Hugo collapsed dramatically. Jean. Oof. This has big failed American Idol audition energy. And there's another reference for you. Wow. Hugo moans as Ron helps him up. Gary nods to Bob. Gary. Mr. Belcher, you're good this time, narrowing his eyes, but I'll be watching. Bob, flatly. Great. I love that for me. Gary exits. Hugo limps behind him, defeated. Ron gives Bob a thumbs up before following. The door closes, leaving the Belchers and Gale behind. We got a happy ending for the Belcher family and Linda's sister, I guess. Bob sighs and flips the open sign to close. Linda. Bobby, you did it. You survived a health inspection, kinda. Gene, should we celebrate with a burger that Hugo would have given us an automatic F4? Bob smiling, yes. And I'm calling it the Hugo We Hardly Knew Ya burger. The kids cheer. Bob starts grilling. Linda hums, and Gail, still shaken, clutches her heart. Gail, still muttering, he didn't even know who I was. Tina pats her shoulder. It's okay, Gail. Maybe your stalker is just late. Gail gasps, hopeful. You think? Bob groans, and Gail just tends to stay at the restaurant because she ran over here in the first place, so I wasn't expecting her to drive her car, so she ran, like in one of the previous episodes before. So it's like, yep. So now, after Gail makes the final joke, or the final line, the scene cuts to an interior of Ron's office night. Ron is now in Hugo's chair, leans back, feet on the desk, eating fries. Ron smirking, being the boss is pretty sweet. Suddenly, the door slams open. Hugo storms in wild-eyed. Hugo, Ron, I need a favor. Ron finally says, oh no. And then the episode ends with the credits. That is my fan-made script episode. I know I kind of read off a little bit, or kind of should have rehearsed before I read, but I wanted to share it all with you as soon as possible because it was fun. I always like rewatching the Brunch Squatch episode. It's like the premiere of season 8, so I figured, that was fun, so let's just make up my own episode script with random characters that haven't interacted yet before. So it's like, yeah, and adding like my own character was really fun. Final thoughts: Hugo gets his karma, Ron gets a moment of glory, Bob's Burger survives another day per usual, Gail, still dramatic, always will be dramatic. Ending leaves the door open for Hugo's possible return, and not in the best way, but the possible worst way. Remember, I also added a made-up allergy that he's allergic to peanuts, so it's like, it feels like a perfect ending, but it could be more to a story later down. I only wanted 2 parts, like the Bleakening, which is another like inspiration I got it from. Bleakening Part 1, Bleakening Part 2. So, what did you guys think of this script? Would you want an episode based off what I read? If you want me to, I can post the script somewhere. I'm not sure where yet, so you could read it yourself. And yeah, it would be fun if this became a real life episode. Anyways, guys, enjoyed this little podcast style, I would say, podcast style video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring the little bell to join the Shiny Hive Squad today, and I will see you all for the next video.